everyone. Just wanted to jump in real quick before we get started and say a quick thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for supporting this class, and I look forward to creating new videos and new content with your support. So thank you very much. Your name should be appearing in this general area right now. Thanks. Record. Okay, I guess I can go in the Discord and just shout at everyone to get in here, but probably won't really help that much. All right, so let's just go through it. I'll take some too. Hytham, how do you feel about taking on some exercises? Okay, it's me and you, Aurelio. We're gonna get it done.
Is that right? Oh my God, that's interesting. All right.
All right, I'll take some too.
Okay.
Or you could do all of them if you want to. I mean,
let's totally change. I think people will fall asleep listening to me for too long.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
All right.
Who wants to kick it off?
I'm gonna say let's just alternate. You can go ahead.
Okay. Edwe Pektubio in het if Nashem chtef a joke. All right. Let's see. Edwe Pektubio, because you humbled yourself, and het goes with it. Because you humbled yourself, if Nashem chtef a joke. He shall shin chtef. That wasn't a lesson, but I forgot. What does it mean again?
It's like
you have pity. He will have pity upon you. I got it. Okay.
And I think it's etbe pektabio, I think is because of your humility. Because of your humility of heart. I think it's a noun. Yeah. Right. Although the way you interpret it is also kind of equally correct because it is a verb. It's just a verb being treated as a noun. Okay. And then shin tef, I think we talked about this in another thing. Maybe it was in the reading group. But I think it comes from shoned, like to be sick. So it's like
like misericordia in Latin.
Yeah, like misericordia. Yeah, to be like heartache for someone or something is to like show mercy or show pity. Okay.
Should we do them 4-4? What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Okay. Nim pentaftamio shorb in Rome. Who was it that created the first man?
Yeah. Good.
All right. Nashe ne Rome and Huo Eron. Ashe is the good old Asha, the be many. So these men are more than us, or more than we are.
Yeah.
More numerous than we are.
Yeah, I think it refers to quantity, like if it's two armies facing off or something like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, nesete polis in Huo. Nes is another one of these adjective verbs. So this city is more beautiful. That's simply it.
Good. Okay. The city is more beautiful, or the city is especially beautiful, perhaps. All right. Nayatu and Enheka, blessed are the poor. So this is probably directly from the Beatitudes. And this yacht part is definitely the word I. And, oh wait, is it? No, I'm not sure. I thought it was like great. Their eyes are great, like na'ayatu.
Oh, okay.
But it might be from like, it might be related to that word. Like their glory is great. I'm not sure of the etymology there. Just now having said it, I feel like I need to look more closely. But that's what it means. Blessed are the poor. Apnute tamiet pe minka. God created the sky and the earth. So there's a nice line from Genesis, probably quite similar to what's actually written in the Saidic Old Testament. Nimpe petitwok. Who is your fellow, or who is your neighbor? I'm guessing this is the Good Samaritan story. Who was the neighbor to the Samaritan? And then Tuo is actually kind of a vague word, but it means something like lap or bosom. So who is the one who is upon your bosom? Which is a kind of a roundabout way of saying like who is, you know, who is dear to you or something like that. And then it's used much more generally to mean like, who are you morally obligated to take care of? And that's kind of the theme of that story. So it's a good illustration of that actually. And then tai tet shorpe enentole. This is the first commandment. Which one is that the like, love God with all your heart? I think that's the first commandment.
I think so.
From the New Testament. Yeah. So these could all be literally New Testament quotes.
One question, if I may.
Sure.
Number 5. Nayatu in keke. I noticed in the examples that Lambden is giving that there's always this extra N in there. Because Enrique is the poor, right?
Yeah.
What's the extra N doing? Do we know?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. It feels like it needs to be there. Let me think. Oh, because it's their eyes. So blessed are they, and then but then it's like,
back to your etymology. Okay, I see.
Yeah, even if it's not I, whatever it is, it's some sort of noun that's being possessed. And then just like we see examples like atotef and prome or something like that, like to his hand, the man. So the suffix pronoun is being repeated by the noun, and it gets connected by that n. So it's the genitive n.
Okay,
but it's replicating what the suffix is doing.
Okay, makes sense. So it's somehow baked into the first word, probably. It's just some kind of genitive.
Yeah, it's obligatory. I don't think it would make sense to leave it out. But it's also it's very low information content, right? Like it doesn't actually convey very much information. It's kind of just like an obligatory little thing that goes in there. So yeah. We have those in English too. You'll see it a lot with like all of these auxiliaries. Like you'll see people write should have instead of should have, and that's because it's actually just like a v sound, that the auxiliary has been reduced so much that it's just like a single phoneme, and people don't really associate it with any specific word, so they spell it wrong. You see kind of the same thing in Coptic. That N is just, it's so ubiquitous that it kind of gets forgotten what meaning it actually adds to the thing. I see Mustafa here. Mustafa, do you want 4 of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Nano ti hach metanoia. Nano ti hach they gave, I don't know.
Okay, so nanu, let's just start with just this.
Nano.
What does that mean?
Actually, I don't know, because I couldn't still repeat the units.
Oh, that's okay. So it's one of these na type adjectives, and it just means good. So it's like an adjective verb that means good. So nanu is like, it is good. What is good? So all of this is the subject of nanu. So something is good. What we actually have here is a verbal infinitive. So giving ha em metanoia is good.
Hach means numerous, many.
Yep.
Metanoia, I don't know, but it is Greek.
It is Greek. It means repentance.
Repentance. Numerous repentance.
Yeah. So you want to put it all together?
Yeah. What does it is good. Give numerous repentance.
Yeah. repenting often is good, is how I would translate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's using the verb phrase as the subject of an adjective verb. So it's a little tricky, but that's it.
Senasmao erok and hovo romenim senasmao they will senasmao here.
Smo is bless.
Less. I couldn't understand.
Bless or praise.
Bless. Okay, get it.
Yep.
Hesi.
Yeah, like that. Like Hesi.
They will bless you all hovo Rome nim.
Yeah.
All men, all Egypt, I don't know, all people, and hovo.
Okay. In Hua is like more than.
Okay, they will bless you more than all men.
Yeah, exactly. Translation might work a little better with they will bless you more than any man, like any other man. You will be the most blessed. But yeah,
something like similar neb.
Yeah, it actually is the word neb.
Neontaf oschime enesos emate they actually not they ne own tough. He has a wife. Much, but nesos.
Nesos is another one of these adjective verbs. She is beautiful. So all this together.
Nesos it's the phrase, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we said he has a beautiful wife.
Yeah, very, very beautiful. A
very beautiful wife. Yeah.
And then the newentaf is he had. It's actually markedly past because of the ne at the beginning.
Yeah.
So he was having a wife who was very beautiful. Okay, and one more.
Astamio, Naf and Okoi and Chinowo. Astamoi feel like stam. Stam means is set sota. I don't know.
No, so tamio is like create. Okay. I'm trying to think of the etymology of that because it's a T causative, but I can't think of what the second part is.
It comes from tem.
It does not come from tem. It comes from, it's deet plus amio, so some kind of verb that's like, gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the etymology, but it means create, basically, or make. So astamio is she made.
She made it or him
for him
a small chinowom. Is a, I don't know, it's a object, but chinowom.
So wom is to eat, and then chinwom, it makes like a sort of a verbal noun, like an action noun. So like eating.
Then we can say she made for him a small eating things.
Probably just food for chinwom. Yeah, it's literally eating, but it's become a noun in its own right, and it just means food. So she prepared for him a bit of food.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good job, Mustafa. Aurelio, we're back to you again.
Sure. Nayatev embintaf kshinchwot enachrim choice. Blessed are those who find favor in the presence of the Lord.
Good. Yeah. I think you said blessed are those. I want to.
True. Actually, blessed is he who. You're right. It's singular.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well done.
All right. Upet nasht viyok. That's a mouthful. What is it that will humble you, singular? That can humble you. That
What
will
is it
be
that
able to humble
can-
you. There's
Good. Yeah.
there's a lot in there. There's a future na and there's a shift for like potential.
Yeah. All of those things you can be kind of fuzzy with those things because they're also kind of fuzzy in Coptic. So you can say like, what is it that's gonna humble you, or what is it that can? You know, you could drop one of those little features because they are sort of minor nuances. But yeah, what is it that will be able to humble you is literally correct.
Okay. Upete na aafje eneujai. What is it that we will do to save us or to become Ene So ene, that is a future 3. In order that ujai is to become healthy or to become safe or whole.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
I think that's it actually.
Yeah, that's it. So what is it that we shall do it? And so this part, peten na aaf. So that we will do it. Looks a little confusing once you get 3 letters in a row, but you got it right. And then the third future, so that we shall be saved, I guess. You kind of have to use a passive in English. But yeah, I think you did.
All right. And one more, sacheteuten evolemoi. Remove yourselves or go away from me, basically.
Yeah.
And sache is, I had to look that one up. So okay, I think is the
yes.
Yeah.
So okay is the absolute form.
Got it.
Yeah, probably that alpha stays because there is some sort of glottal in there. The Hori can do it also, but I think in the absolute form it has a double vowel, so it's like there must be an ein or a glottal stop in there somewhere.
Got it.
Yeah, and then that preserves the alpha normally. Okay, great job. I think I'm going to take 4 too, so we keep it properly mixed up. Efshanchent efna mowet moi. Efshanchent. Should he find me, yeah, he will kill me. So we got kind of a thriller scenario going on here. Exciting, scary. Ekshan sotpet eanasneo na chonet emate. If you choose me, my brothers will get very angry. So again, this is sotp. Sotpa is the pre-pronominal, and then the pronoun is the T. It's actually added on in this case. And then this is just the then particle. And then my brothers, nasneu, will, and then chonet, get angry, and then very much. I feel like we want emate here. I want to amend this, but oh well, it's fine. Okay. And please feel free to interrupt with questions too. I don't want to rush through this too fast. And also, if I get anything wrong, because there's no second person watching when I'm doing it. So yeah,
I'll just slide in that I try to look up Tamiyo's etymology, and Crumb does not have it. So maybe it's unknown.
It might be unknown. It feels like it's right there, though. It doesn't feel inexplicable. It feels like the answer is just not coming to me, but I'll think about it, see what I come up with. Ekshan ka'at evok tinaktoi eshiet. If you allow me to go, I will return myself to Shiate or to Sketis. So this is ka, I think. So if you let me to go, Tina, I will kato E, I will return myself, and then Eshiate, to Shiate, the town, Wadi Natrun, where there's the monasteries and stuff, where Apapambo lived. If you have any interest in the reading class, you can come read exciting stories about Apapambo, the monk at Shiate. Anyway, Efshan hon etotek etrekaas eke aas hin worej. So if he commands you that you do it, you shall, third future, do it diligently, hinworej, diligently or firmly. Yeah. Is that right, Aurelio? I know you're watching. So. Okay, good. I feel like you would shout at me if I said something wrong. Okay. I hope you would. I certainly hope so. All right. Mustafa, I think it's your turn again.
Yeah. Eşone emmatoy ei ehon etipolis senarahten teren eşone eşope sorry emmatoy is soldier or army.
Yep, the soldiers. So yeah, if the soldiers iahun et polis.
Okay, come back to the city.
Come into the city.
Come into the city. Senarachten. They will.
Mm-hmm.
They will racht. They will burn us.
No, it's strike.
Strike us.
Thinking of
strike all of us.
Yeah, they will strike all of us. So these are mean soldiers that might be coming in. So let's keep them out. Okay.
Eşope efsotem. Eşope efsotem. Tekşme fnasahov. If
this is a mistake.
Sme.
Yeah, I think that has to be what it's supposed to be. I can check in the book, but
I think
let me check in the book real quick. Number 6. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'm just gonna go ahead and look just in case. Yeah, that's what it has to be. That's just a typo. Okay.
If he heard your voice, voice, he will
Sohe is to like
right.
remove oneself or go away.
Okay, he will go away.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know what's going on here, but if he hears your voice, he will go away. Someone's a bad singer, I think.
Yeah, Eşope on teten Henowick emau ever hovo eroten teten netau and net hikayet if there you teten.
Yeah, when Taten, checking that doesn't seem right. Oh, it is right. I expect Taten, but whatever. So y'all have when Taten, there is belonging to you.
If you all have some bread there.
Yeah.
Ever hobo doing badness. Hobo.
Doing abundance. So being abundant toward you.
They are being abundant ever or eroten to you
Yep.
all. Tetnetau and net hekait. It is actually relative. Tetnetau you.
That's a little weird too. I would expect it to have. No, that's what it is. What's going on with that? Why is there a tetnetau?
Should it be
true, yeah.
etitentau?
Yeah, I think
It would
it
make
should
a
have
lot of
this.
sense, right? Future 3.
Yeah. Maybe there's a thing that Lambden says that this can somehow sometimes be dropped, which wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, let's go ahead and put it in just to make it easier right now.
You all, you will tau give them hikait
the hungry, those who are hungry.
Yeah, haka. Hikait hungry, those you will give, you all will give them that are hungry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have bread which is too much for you, you shall give them to those who are hungry. It's like if you have too much, give it to the people who need it.
Don't put in the trash. Just give it.
Yeah.
Erşan.
It's go ahead.
Yeah. Erşan nesneu kto pitme hi rohe tinabok enemau.
Yep.
The nesneu brothers. Kto.
So kato is like turn back, and then katou it's reflexive. So turn themselves back.
Turn themselves to the town in darkness.
Evening.
In evening. I will go away with them.
Good. Yeah. If the brothers return themselves to the village upon evening, I will go with them. Probably I will return to the village with them. I'll go with them. Yeah, but good translation. Okay. And I think it's Aurelio, is it your turn or my turn? I forget how we're doing it.
I can go. I forgot to. I can take them.
Okay. Well, there we go. That works.
Okay, so esce peciod epitimanak inectionet. If your father epitima like criticizes you, don't get angry. You shall not get angry. That's a negative future 3.
That's a negative future 3, and here it's being used as sort of a adjussive.
Right.
Shall not get angry.
Thou shalt not get angry.
That's right.
All right. Esce pexon erpetchonak eke erpet nanuf. If your brother does you evil, you shall do him good. You shall do him what is good, literally.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like, so I guess Lambden probably put them like this, which would explain why I put them like that. But the word is really petnanuf, goodness or good, and then it's pa petnanuf. It has to have another article because it's become just dropped my count. It's become fossilized as a noun in its own right.
So eke erp petnanuf, if you want to pronounce the 2 P's, if that's doable.
Eke erp petnanuf.
Eke erp petnanuf.
Sure.
Okay.
That works.
All
for
right. Ereshan texone I sharoi enraste tinatamos edveneshaje. if your sister comes before me in the morning, I shall inform her or tell her, well, I guess let her know about this thing.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there's a story behind that one.
something's going on here, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on then. Definitely, like, there's more behind the scenes of that statement for sure.
Okay, and now we're moving from the real conditions to the not so real ones.
Oh, nice. Yes, this gets fun.
Finally, although I'm still confused sometimes between, like, I don't know, irrealis 1 and 2, but we'll get there.
I don't know whether I know these answers either, so this will be fun. We'll be figuring them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ene udikaios pe entok, nek na ire enteje an. If you were a righteous person, or a just person, you would not do these things. Or you
you would
you
not.
would do like this, basically. You would act differently.
You wouldn't do like this. Yeah. You wouldn't behave in this awful way. If you didn't suck so hard, you wouldn't behave in this awful way.
Something of that nature. Here goes another
Very,
t-shirt.
very wise. Yeah.
Okay, I think those were my 4. I'm just thinking, is there anything? No, this one clearly is number 12 is if you were not, then you wouldn't. I mean, it's not if you had. Could it be if you had been? Can we tell them apart?
No, this is present. This is present. You can tell
right?
them apart because it will have a it will have like a relative / seconds past if it's the what's the word, contrary to fact past has has the inta form in it, and the imperfect goes with the like contrary to fact present. So if you were a righteous man but you're not, then you would not do in this way, but you are doing in this way because you're not. Yeah. So
does it work with a nominal sentence though? I mean, how would you smuggle the enter in there?
Well, technically, nominal sentences don't have tense. True. So I think you don't necessarily need the enter. I don't know. Let's see if we come across an example.
Okay, that's good.
It right now. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Just trying to play with it. How would I tell apart? Can I tell from the second part? Can I tell from the nekna ire? Because that's some kind of if I wanted to say you would not have behaved in that manner, you know what I'm trying to do?
So I think you could, if you wanted to make it contrary to fact past, you would probably use like entof and then something like sho'op. So you would be forced to use one of those like verbs that really just represents a to be type thing.
Yes, that makes sense.
I think
you would just construct it differently.
Yeah, I think you would be forced to use one of those verbs, and that's kind of what those verbs are for. I picture that sho'op, the qualitative of shope, as being kind of like, it's like one of those Lego pieces in a set that exists only to do one specific thing. It's like the piece that is like the 2 pokey outy pieces that just exist to like create a piece, you know. It's like just a thing that exists to make things work. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to have a word sho'op that just means is in a state of having become. Everything is in a state of having become. It's kind of tautological, but you need it for the grammar. And I think that's where something like that would come in. But I don't know. Let's see if we find one. I think that would be cool. I'm not sure yet. Okay. Archen mot in nachrem pnude. This seems out of character for the rest of our sentences. But you, feminine, found grace before God. Is that right? I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's just go with it. Seems kind of ill-fitting in all of this. Enekim pema nera pason namu anpe. So had you been, if you were in this place, my brother would not have died. Yeah, this is one where it's if you had been, but it just uses the imperfect and nekim pema. So were you in this place, my brother would not have died. But we know that he died in the past because of this, because of the imperfect here. Wait, no, maybe we don't. My brother would not have been.
I was wondering when I saw that sentence, could it also mean if you were here, my brother wouldn't die. Is that possible?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
would...
possible. Maybe I'm being biased by thinking of the like Martha and Maria. Wait, wasn't that their names? The sisters? Like when Lazarus dies and Jesus shows up later, they're like upset with him because they're like, if you had been here, you wouldn't have died. I was picturing that circumstance. Oh man, now I really can't tell. So this could be present or past as far as I know. That's the best I can do. What do you think, Aurelio? Do you have a vote?
Nope, unfortunately not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That was the one part that really confused me in this lesson. I shouldn't say confused, but the question mark that stayed. When do you know? Is there a clear indicator when it is which for the unreal scenarios? Like, is it something that could still be ongoing, or is it something in the past? Whatever the grammatical term. That part I haven't worked out yet.
Well,
like a clear rule.
I think contrary to fact conditions tend to be a little messy in real languages.
True.
So people kind of phone it in on the exact grammatical construction because you get the idea. It's like this thing didn't happen, but if it had, things would have gone differently. So, I mean, I have no idea how to do that in German. I wouldn't even attempt it. Just switch to English.
Discussion for another day.
Yeah. And I know in Spanish, so there you do like you have like a perfect subjunctive form that comes in, and it's pretty natural. It works a lot like it does in Coptic or English, but I've also heard people like fluent native speakers not bother with it.
Yep, they mix it up. You're right.
Yeah. Mustafa, what do you think? Do you think this is present or past?
It is imperfect.
Okay, good answer. Yes, it is. Correct. On that note, that's the right answer. It's imperfect. So it's what it is. Ten shepmot and toatek ha peknochin na. We literally we receive grace from your hand under your great mercy. But then more naturally, we thank you for your great mercy. And if you're curious about how to say thank you in Coptic, it's like di shepefmot in toatek, and then ha under the thing that you're saying thank you for. So yeah, that's the construction. We thank you for your great mercy. And then the super long one, ene entai ime je entok pe pero ne na pahet nahrak pe e shipe hetek. So if I had known that you were the king, I would have prostrated or bowed before you. Being ashamed before you, but like being humble before you.
Is the hetek often combined with shipe? I thought there was something like that.
Is that like a fixed idiom?
I'm looking it up right now.
If that, it means like showing respect. It's definitely the meaning.
Nope, don't see it.
Well, we could say that it is though, because it definitely means that. It's so here we have a nice.
To stand in, sorry, I didn't look right. Shipe hate somebody to stand in shame before, to revere.
To revere, okay. Yeah, revering you. Good. And the what is it? Contrary to fact past. If I had known that you were the king, or that you are the king, you can say it both ways in English. And then the imperfect with the future, imperfect plus first future, you know, that thing, ne na pahet. I was going to, or I was going to be about to prostrate myself before you. And then this actually has the suffix pronoun because it's, because it ends in a T, but it's pahet, which is the pre-pronominal form. So we know it's like prostrate myself, and it's reflexive, so that makes sense. Okay. So far, so good. Mustafa, do you want to do 4 more?
Yeah.
All right.
Eşçe, kos, ek, eko, en ref, nobe, ensenaşen, hıtev, ejok, an, empeko, etmemav. If kos, ek.
So it's osek is to like persist in doing something or continue.
If you persist.
In doing what?
Doing, make, doing sin, doing, make sin.
Yeah, so ref etonove is a sinner. So
sinner,
if you continue being really, although it's the qualitative of ire, to do, but so if you continue being a sinner.
Yeah. Ense and senashen, they will shen heteu. Shen means
I think it's from shone, to be sick. I don't know that for sure, but shen hete is like to be to pity or to show mercy.
Show mercy. They will show they will not show mercy to you.
Yep.
In that day, probably good. That day is the afterlife.
Yeah, like the day of judgment.
Day of judgment, yeah.
Yeah, probably is. A lot of religious themes in here.
Eşope se ire empet nanov senach en hmot and nachrem pijois. If they do that, nanov, I think, I don't know.
Het nanuf means that which is good, and nanu is an adjective verb that means good. So that which it is good.
Nano means was good. Yeah. That so, which is if they do that which is good,
yep,
they will find. They will find chmot,
grace or mercy.
Mercy. They find mercy in front of the Lord.
That's right. Okay.
Enenita nehise osek nenamo pe weird chain.
So all of this is the past contrary to fact. So if it had such and such, so ne enta.
If it had this maybe this, or it is just a converter.
No, it's these he say these troubles.
These troubles.
Osek.
Again, forget it.
Continue.
Will die.
Namu is will die. Who will die?
We will die.
Wow, yeah, we will die. Good. And then if you put it in the contrary to fact, it's like, if these troubles had continued, we would have died.
Yeah.
But it's imperfect and then future. So we were going to die.
Conditional sentence then.
Yeah, exactly. It's just marked with the circumstantial marker, just the epsilon, but yeah, it's conditional. Had these troubles continued, we were gonna die. So yeah, that gets the meaning across. Okay.
Yeah. Eshope eupistewe gen o genoro o orage.
Orange, yeah.
Sena solo. If they pistewe
Believe. Yep.
Believe in a orage.
Yeah, henwaraj means like firmly.
If they believe firmly, they will console them.
Yeah. If they believe firmly, they will console them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Aurelio, I think you get some more. You want to do? Can you do 5, and then
sure.
we'll split up these last 3 between us.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sharon etren shibchmot intuitive in voishnim. Literally, it's appropriate for us, but let's say we should, or we shall, we should give thanks to him at any time, all the time.
Yeah. Good.
Very idiomatic, the different formations in there, but yeah, otherwise
Yeah,
not
but
complicated.
Not complicated, as long as you know these idioms like shepe and things like that.
Right. Hapeseron etrenti totu energituon. It is necessary for us to give a hand to our neighbors.
Yeah, those who are upon our bosoms.
Indeed. It's necessary to give a hand to those who are upon our bosoms. Love it. Now here's a bugbear. Smokech es high and mintrim in keme. It's difficult to write in Egyptian.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty subjective, but I think Lambda, and this is like the next to last exercise, he's like, oh, I have to think of more sentences.
I said bugbear because smokech can be like 3 different things at least, if not 4. There's a lot of dictionary entries for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Unless luckily, of course.
Yeah, I just didn't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay. Is peinox in mine nakshole bevol neten. Then a great sign shall appear to you.
Yeah. Good. So not a great sign though.
You're right, not a great sign. I was just thinking there's pay. Then this great sign shall appear before you.
Yeah. And then cholep is kind of like be revealed. So yeah, appear is definitely fine. Okay.
Okay. And one more. In Sabelje in Tokpe Bayot, Neina Motek.
What?
If you that's now we're getting to brass tacks. If you were not my father, if you weren't my father, I would have killed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's definitely what that says. All right. Fun. Definitely unpleasant family meeting.
Some issues there, yeah, that need to be worked through, I guess.
Yeah, this seems like a really unhealthy environment. But sometimes you need to get things out, and that can actually be healthy. So anyway, okay. I guess I'll take this one. Avjoos enchi uhelo je himpirasmos nim imperchen arike erome ala chenarike erok mawaak ekjo emosje erenai shoopemoi et benanove. So avjoos enchi uhelo je An old man said, Je, him pirasmos nim, in every temptation, imper chen arike erome. Do not find fault with man. Ara chen arike erok, mawaak, but find fault with you yourself alone. Mawaak, alone. Ekcho emosje, saying it, je, erenai sho'op emoi, second, present, these things are for me, these things have happened to me, whatever, et benanove, because of my sins. So if you want to do the cleft sentence, it is because of my sins that these things have happened to me. Okay. Any corrections in there? I feel like I did okay. I don't know. All right. Mustafa.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
It's a long one.
Yeah. Over and hello boksha ke hello avu pejaf pef matetes je tamoi tamio nan en okoi en arshi avo aftamiov pejaf je herep henoik nan avo horpo ento de avmon ebol evşace pep nep pneumatikon empehu teref men tevşe teres.
All right.
Once upon a time, there was a old man.
What he did?
Old man to que hello and
yeah, he.
Que another.
Yep.
Another weird, yeah. Que hello, another old man, and
Yep.
Pejaf, saying,
and he said,
his disciples,
to his disciples,
Tamio, finish it, complete it, make it
none
for us,
ukui in arshin,
small arshin,
lentils.
What?
Lentils.
A lentil, okay.
I was going to ask Pinar how to say lentil in Do you know this word, lentils? It's like food. It's like the little bean type thing.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Oh, marjimek? Lady, is that it? Oh, okay. She confirmed.
And he complete. He made it. Pejaf, he said, Herep, Henoik, none, and some bread for us.
Yeah, horep means to wet. And I have wondered about this scene for like 10 years now. I don't have any idea what that means. Wet some bread for us is what it says.
Maybe it means it's a much more liturgical, in Christianity, wine and bread.
Maybe, like the Eucharist, you mean? Like you put the bread in the wine? Maybe. I really don't know. It sounds like a way of preparing food, but I think it's just something that's quite foreign. Maybe it means like make porridge or something. I don't know. Wet some bread for us.
Avo and Horpo of Horpo, he have Horpo.
Horp is wet. Make something wet.
Herb, then it is a stative. What's the Coptic word?
This is the pre-pronominal and this is the prenominal. So horeb, hereb, horeb.
He have wet to them.
He wet them. He wet them, I guess.
He wet them into the almond they call.
Continue. You're thinking of mute. Moon is stay. Munevol is like continue doing something.
They had continued their words.
Speaking. Eoshajes, it's a verb in this case. They continue speaking.
Speaking to pneumaticon. Pneuma, it is soul. Pneumaticon.
Spiritual thing.
Spiritual. Then it is not to, maybe about.
Yep, good.
They had continued their speaking about spiritual in the all day with all the ocean night.
Yep, very good. All right, that was quite a long thing there. Yeah, exactly right. Well done. So it's some kind of thing going on. I think these are from the Apophthegmata Patrum, and it's like there are all these scenes in there that I don't really understand. It kind of reminds me of they kind of remind me of koans, but I don't know. I might be giving them too much credit, or maybe not enough. I don't know. But there are all these scenes in there where like monks are doing things, and often it seems like they're doing something very ordinary, but it seems to be important to the story somehow. So you're kind of like, I'm always kind of in limbo, like, why is this thing important? But is it supposed to be important? I don't know. Like they made some lentils and then they made some bread wet. Whatever they're doing, I don't know. Having a party for sure though, because they stayed up all night talking about spiritual things. So yeah, I don't know what
maybe
what was
it is
those
the
lentils.
spiritual speaking. Maybe it is related to the Christ, something like
yeah, presumably. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the presence of lentils makes it kind of markedly Egyptian.
Weird.
Yeah, it's not like a common Christian image, but it is very common in Egyptian texts. That word, arashin, is one of the most common food items you see described in Coptic texts for whatever reason. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can meditate on this later and see if it triggers any sort of spiritual awakening. Aurelio,
all right,
guide us to our next spiritual awakening.
Last one for the day. Aujo sangshi in khilo je kaname arshandu angelos wonach na kevol emper shope ferok ala tubiok jos je intim shaan enau e pangelos e ione chenove. Okay.
Yeah.
So the monk said, namely, if truly an angel appears before you,
yep,
don't receive him. To you, basically, into your how to replicate in English. Ala tuviok and George, but humble yourself and say, Intiem Sha'an, I'm struggling for a moment. Sha'an, it's not proper for me?
Or Shah means like worthy.
Okay, right. Yes, I'm not worthy to see an angel or to look upon an angel.
Yep.
Me having lived in sin, as I
Yeah.
have lived in sin.
Yeah. As I have lived in, literally in the sins, but I have
In the
lived in
sins.
sin.
Right.
Presumably they don't mean the euphemism where it's like an unmarried couple is cohabitating.
Wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, but true.
Yeah. Can you imagine like an angel appears before you and it's like, no, I'm not married to my girlfriend. And they're like, what? I'm a freaking angel. That's not, I'm not.
You think I don't know that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like all those cop movies, all the detective movies, every time they like go talk to someone, the guy's like smoking a joint and they're like, I'm a murder detective. I don't care. Like, I need to find out about the murder. It's like the angel's reaction. He's like, yeah, it's not, I have way bigger concerns than you're living in sin. Anyway, but you know, it's always good to be humble. So there we go. Okay, so lesson 30, last lesson. I'm going to go through these things kind of quickly because this lesson is basically like Lambda kind of mopping up all the things that didn't get mentioned before. But there are some really cool new things in here. The injunctive, or I think optative is a really poor choice of name for this. But this form, Mari sotem, let me hear, Maref sotem, let him hear. This is a really common form in prayers and hymns and things. Because it's a way of sort of giving yourself a command, or giving a third person a command. It's negated with imper and the causative infinitive, so imper tref voc, don't let him go. And we'll definitely see this in the Lord's Prayer, which I think is in this exercise for lesson 30. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. And I mean, there are all the forms that are exactly like you'd expect. It actually comes from ma, give, and then iri, give that I do hearing, mari sotem.
Okay.
But it's pretty common form. And then future conjunctive of result, also called finalis. That's the name that I generally know it by, but you can call it all this business if you want. Doesn't really exist in the first person, although I would argue that it kind of does, but it's just ta. So ta sotem, that I hear, or whatever, tad in sotem, that we hear, etc. All, again, very predictable forms. I'm not sure what the etymology is, though. Is it, I mean, it's not the same as prex sotem, which is give that he do hearing. It seems quite similar, though. I don't know. I'm curious now. I'm not sure of how to break that apart. But it basically only occurs in certain constructions, like this one. Sotem eroi tarak ersave. Listen to me, that you may become wise. Wow, quite a statement. I should start every class with that. Amu tarak now. Come and see, or ekshan I kana now. If when you come, then you will see. Yeah. So it's a pretty common thing. You know, come and see is a relatively common sentence to express. Nim pentaf nawarov tarashajerov. Who is the one who he has seen him, that he may speak about him? Who has seen him so as to be able to describe him? Yeah, good. And then it can be like an implied thing, like in this one, efton pexon, taran shaje namaf, where he is, where your brother, that we may speak with him. Yeah, where is your brother that we may speak with him? Obviously, there's kind of like a missing verb in the first part, but it's implied and understood. Tell us where your brother is that we may speak with him, or whatever. And then another one, the until form, which is the only name I know it by. I think it has another name somewhere else, but I can't remember what it is. But it's a really fun form because it's super intuitive, but it looks kind of, it's one of these Coptic forms that at first seems very new and foreign and exotic, but is actually like perfectly intuitive, and you see it 3 times and you know it forever. So shanti sotem, until I hear, shantek sotem, until you hear. So it's just sha, the preposition that means like up to or until, and then I think it's an old form of the conjunctive. So it used to have this nt in it. So yeah, until that I hear, or until and I hear. Shanti sotem. Kind of fun. Tenacho impema shantefi. We will stay here until he comes. And there's another one, Gene Tough Sotem. That one's extraordinarily uncommon. I don't know if I've ever seen that in the wild, but worth knowing about. And then there's some examples of these things, katate and inte, so just in the manner or as, auhe erof, inte and tafjoos now. They found him as he had said to them. So they found him just the way that he said they would. Katate intai aas neten, teten aas hot teuten. So in the manner which I have done it to you, y'all shall do it yourselves. Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of those. You got it. You can use these katatehe constructions, you know, to say like as such and such, so another thing. We've actually talked about this before. When the inflective infinitive is used instead of a simple infinitive after a verbal prefix, it has the value of the causative. I actually presented this to you from sort of a different direction. So we talked about the causative infinitive, and I think I mentioned that it sometimes can be truly causative, which is its original meaning, although most of the time it is used in grammatical constructions where the causative meaning is almost totally lost. So we've seen plenty of examples of the latter before where it's the causative, but it's in some kind of construction and it doesn't really mean cause. But if it's used by itself, it generally does have this meaning of the causative, and you have to be aware of both. So I treu iahun, so I cause that they come in, and tina trekrime, I will make you cry. Wow, what a sentence. And then I think this is our last one. Yeah, this is really our last one, our last verb form. Empati sotem, I have not yet heard, or I haven't heard. This is a like a markedly perfect negative verb form. And it gets used in Coptic in ways that would be really surprising for an English speaker. So in English, we often say like, this thing happened before another happened. But Coptic actually uses this not yet form to express things like that. I think we have an example. I'll just use this example. Tenatahof empatef po et polis. So we will grab him, circumstantial, he has not yet reached the city. So we will grab him before he reaches the city is the normal English way of saying this, but Coptic uses this empate form, the not yet form, with the circumstantial. So we will grab him while he has not yet reached the city. So very different way of structuring that, but also I think quite intuitive. And once you get a handle on it, it's kind of cool because you can express these really complex sequence of events with, you know, all these super elaborate Coptic prefix conjugations that are really fun. And it's fun to say too, like empatef po. Rolls off the tongue. Okay, and then this part, I don't know that this part really even needs to be in here, but there's a dative that sometimes goes with certain verbs, boknak, epeke. That really means leave for your house, but it's go for yourself to your house. I think this is paralleled in a lot of languages, but the example that immediately comes to mind for me is Spanish, like me voy. It's like, I'm leaving, right? But it's reflexive. It's like I'm going myself, which doesn't make sense in English, but it's exactly the same in Coptic. If you put this reflexive dative in there, it can add like nuance to the meaning, but it's normally pretty clear in context what's going on, so it's not super important. And then numbers, you can study these. I think they're kind of cool. One of the things that we see here is the way that numbers, if there is some type of multiple of 10 involved, the value in the ones place will take a different form. So you can look at these and figure out how they work. He definitely gives you the examples here. So you have all the values for the numbers. Jwot or jute if it's a prefix, ma'av or mav, hme, tayo, se, shve, hmene, stayu, and then she and shet for 100 and 200. This is actually the singular and the dual from earlier Egyptian. Interestingly, the words mate 10, and jwot 20 are also a singular and a dual. It's meju and mejuti. So you get mate and jwot, which is kind of hard to spot that, but once you know it, you can see it. And then I think it's shet and sheti in Middle Egyptian. So you get she and shet. That's kind of cool. And then shaw and tva, 1,000 and 10,000. You know, those are the same. It's all the same as the Middle Egyptian forms, but you can see how they sounded. And then combined examples like jutwe, 21, mabsite, 39, jute. Notice if it's 5, it's not dio anymore. It's de in the in the ones place with something in the tens place, and the t doesn't get repeated. So it's jute, but it just becomes jute. Same thing with 15. It's mente with only one t, and shvete, 75. And then 4 and 6, actually the pattern of the stress moves around, so the word becomes different. So 34 you might expect to be ma'av fto, but instead we get mabtafte. And that's because the stress moved because they were combined into one word. So mabtafte, 34. And setase, 66. You get the little t there, and then the stress is actually on this little epenthetic vowel, so it becomes the stressed vowel, setase. And then you combine numbers exactly as you think you would. Shos now, 2,000, shomet and show, 3,000, and snows in tva, 120,000, literally 12 10,000s, which is fine. I mean, it's definitely not the weirdest numbers I've ever seen. Weirdest numbers I know are French numbers, and they don't even really, they're not even that weird on, in linguistic terms. But Shamsho, 3,000, Sosho, 6,000. It means what you think it would mean. And then you can combine them different ways. Shema'av, 130. You can say 130 or 130. Shema'av or Shemen Ma'av, as you would expect. And Sosho, Awol Shmun and She. 6,800. Yeah, 6,800.
Wow, the mech survives from earlier Egyptian. That's cool for the ordinals.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, have we not seen that in Coptic yet? This is the first time we're seeing that?
I think so.
Oh man, that probably should have been introduced earlier. Yeah, so I'm glad you commented on it, because I probably would have glossed right over it. So yeah, the way of expressing the ordinal numbers is to add meh before the number. So meh snow in whole, the second day, and meh sunta in rompe, the third year. Wait, second. Gosh, the second year. Yeah, so that works like you think. In Middle Egyptian, there's that nu that goes after numbers.
I was about to ask what happened with that. That's gone, huh?
In late Egyptian, they just like use meh for everything, and it makes sense, because like even in Middle Egyptian, you only put the nu on the numbers 2 through 9, I think, and then anything above 10, it gets the meh. So it's like, why not just generalize that? So that's what happened. So you just use meh for everything. And then there's some other like kind of small little words that are really just vocabulary entries, because they work pretty predictably. Pashe actually means part, not half. So that's not totally correct. But chos does mean half. And then if it's prefixed to another word, it's chis. So for instance, the word chiskite, which means drachma, 1/2 kite, is, chiskite, half kite. And then fractions, which you will probably never ever see, but worth knowing about. Ramate, 1/10. That relates to like in Middle Egyptian, where you have the R mouth with the number. Yeah. And Egyptian fractions. Egyptian fractions are kind of cool. There's a proof that says that any rational number can be expressed using Egyptian fractions. And then there are several ways of, like, a lot of numbers have multiple solutions. So you can have something like 1/27th, and then it's like, I don't know exactly, I'm not going to calculate it in my head, but it's like 1/5, 1 364th, 1 5,257th, and then you get 1/27th or something. But you can always express any fraction, any rational fraction with Egyptian fractions. So that's kind of cool. That's how they did it. They always used unit fractions. I think that's what they're called.
I think that's what they're called. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and
kind of neat.
There's like this endless treatise. I forgot. Is it which Rin papyrus? I think, which has this long section on fractions. They go like, why is that important? Until you realize that, well, wait a sec, that's how their number system worked. So you had to be conversant in it, otherwise you can't do anything else. Real numbers are hardly ever, what's the word? Hardly ever integers. Normally you have some kind of something dot something, and since they don't have a dot, you have to use those fractions. It's kind of cool.
There's a sense in which real numbers are never integers.
Nah, tell me more.
Well, because like the real numbers are countably infinite. I'm sorry, the natural numbers are countably infinite, but the real numbers are uncountably infinite, which means there are infinitely more real numbers than there are integers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which means it's the fraction of natural numbers over real numbers is like 1 over infinity, so it's 0.
So it's vanishingly. Love it. Okay, that works.
I love QED. I don't know.
That works.
A mathematician is going to come on and be like, yeah, you know just enough about math to get it like embarrassingly wrong, but whatever. A little learning is a dangerous thing. I stand by it. Numbers are never integers. There we go. Okay. So I think that's really about it. So there are these other demonstratives that are really never used in Saidic, but if you're looking at Bohairic, these kind of start to become important, the pe, te, ne forms, because they are used in Bohairic. And it's just another set of demonstratives. And then those become the pt, ni, when they're prefixed to a noun. And you'll see that sometimes in Saidic, but it's really in very specific cases like sha, ni, and ne, until the forevers. I think this is really a phonetic phenomenon. Like the initial vowel kind of forces the ni, and you'll see that on other words that begin with epsilon. They'll have the article with the iota in it. I think that may be more phonetic than the fact that they're literally choosing a different demonstrative for that. But it is very common in other dialects of Coptic, so worth noting. There's another demonstrative, and then there's a few things like this, like some circumlocutions. Eknawop, you will become holy, or you will be holy. And then eknashope ekwa'av, you will become being holy. So you will be holy in a continuous way. Some slight nuance there. And again, this is just kind of mopping up anything that might be important from the whole book. And then a whole bunch of Greek things, particles, Greek conjunctions, adverbs, prepositions, etc. It's worth reading through this list. This is basically just vocabulary, and you can learn it from reading or from studying this, or from going back to reference this, if you see something that you don't know in the exercises. And then a few more minor points that you're encouraged to read through on your own, kind of like little details. I'm not going to go through each one by one. And yeah, and then that's it. Exercise 30, and we're done. So next week, exercise 30, and it'll be the last class. And I hope everyone comes. I hope everyone tries to prepare at least a little bit, or you can read without preparing, because I want to try to get I'm going to try to get everybody to come and read some, since it's the last class. I think that would be fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Almost done. Less than a year, you guys. Less than a year.
When did we start this class? It's been.
I actually have it. I was just looking at it earlier because I was looking at the syllabus. So we started this September 5th, 2020.
Oh damn.
And it is now. Wait. It is now. It's going to be July 10th, 2021 is our end date. Yeah, we did it. Almost. We're almost there. So I hope I'll see y'all next week. And yeah, we'll do some more Coptic.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
See you
Have a
next
great
week.
weekend.